Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. So today, as you guys can see up on the screen, we are going to be talking about Dardoch. I know I definitely wanted to make a video about him because obviously he's had a really interesting ongoing situation, and originally I thought I was going to be making one video, and I kind of waited, was kind of thinking about it, exactly what I wanted to say, exactly what I wanted to do. You always got to come up with a good title, thumbnail, all that stuff. But I'm glad I waited because now today some new news came out, and this is becoming a very interesting, very big story. Still all surrounding this man, still surrounding Dardoch. But now all of a sudden there's just a lot more to talk about. It's a lot more interesting, and I really think we're going to get a lot of people coming in on this issue on both sides. And I really hope this does happen because I think it would be so interesting to watch play out. That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy it. I'd appreciate it so much. Helps me out the YouTube algorithm a ton. And subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. I know things are kind of dying down from the off season right now. It's easy to hit a little bit of a lull. You know, my channel was going crazy. It's cooling off a little bit. But hey, all your guys' continued support, love, everything, it's all amazing. With that being said, here we go, getting right into this. So originally Dardoch tweeted this out 4 days ago. I got it right now. It says it's all messed up, something went wrong, try reloading. Twitter's down right now, so it's actually hard for me to even pull this back up. I had to pull some strings, but hey, we got videos to make. We're getting it out to you guys. Originally I was going to make a video talking about this tweet because he said, hello, I'm sure as you have heard, I am now a free agent again. If you haven't heard, he got released by Dignitas. Dignitas general manager or somebody that works for Dignitas came out and was like, with what Dardoch did this weekend, we cannot have him on the team any longer. And that's all they said. We don't know what Dardoch did. We don't know what he said. We don't know what happened. But he's not on the team anymore. You know, Acadian is starting in the jungle. They have some new academy jungler now. Dardoch's gone. He's a free agent. He said he is very confident in his abilities as a player and a coach, and he's open to competing in any region. So two real bangers there for me. One, the original videos I was going to make was talking about Coach Dardoch, because I tweeted out something like, man, I did not know I needed Coach Dardoch in my life, but I absolutely need that because he's a very talented player. He even seems like a brilliant mind for the game. Obviously, it takes a real kind of interesting, unique, but very skilled mind to do the things Dardoch has even been able to do. You know, he has obviously been toxic. He has obviously burnt bridges. He has obviously gotten in fights. He's obviously been immature at times. Whatever you want to call it, all the bad things you have to say about Dardoch, he is definitely very talented, and he definitely knows a ton about the game. He has a ton of experience. He knows the ins and outs of so many different North American organizations. He's been in like every single environment, every single type of team. He knows, or he should know at this point, what works and what doesn't. And I don't think he would be that good of a coach. I mean, maybe he would. Who knows what the truth of any of these matters are. We know Breaking Point and way back in the Team Liquid days, but ever since then, we don't really know what Dardoch has said, what he's done behind closed doors. We don't know if it's NA being soft, if it's NA managers, coaches sucking, or if it's really Dardoch being toxic. We don't know for sure. We can speculate whatever, but maybe he'd make a good coach. I don't know. Either way, that would be hilarious. Just the idea of Dardoch being a coach and thinking about what he would say to his players, how he would flame them, how he would coach them, and if he'd be good, that would be absolutely hilarious. That would be insane. But the other big thing here is that he said he was open to competing in any region, and that got a lot of people thinking, like, this guy's been on, what, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams in North America? There's only 10 teams in the league, and he's been on some teams that are no longer in the league. I think he was on Optic. I think he was on Echo Fox. So, of the teams that are still in the league, maybe he's only been on 5 or 6 of them, but a lot of these teams share the same coaching staffs. They're kind of passing them around. They share the same managers, whatever. He's burnt a lot of bridges. Top teams probably are interested in him because he's not probably that good anymore, at least at this time. And he's obviously a big risk because he has some attitude issues, or at least reported attitude issues, or whatever. So it's going to be hard for him to keep bouncing around North America too much longer. He's literally just running out of team. So even though he's clearly talented enough, he had a very good spring for Dignitas, and he was having a good summer as well. But for whatever reason, things didn't go right. But then people were starting to wonder, and I even got a couple comments about this, like, shouldn't Dardoch just go to Europe? Doesn't that make a ton of sense? One, doesn't Europe handle players and attitudes a lot better? Doesn't Europe have a lot more toxic players, and don't they make it work? Aren't they a little bit more blunt with each other? Aren't they a little, less soft or less snowflakey or whatever word you want to use? And yeah, I mean, it seems like they are. It definitely seems like that could be possible, but we haven't really seen too many players go from North America to Europe. We haven't seen too many North American players be imported into Europe. If not, I don't think we've ever seen a North American player in the LEC. I could be wrong about that. I'm not 100% sure. I know there was this Reddit thread posted about the situation where they say that Flores, who played on Enemy and TDK, went to Europe to compete in the European Regional Leagues, and Andy Bendy played in the European Regional Leagues for Enclave as well. But again, they don't talk about any players actually playing in the LEC, so I don't think it's happened. So if that did happen, that would be interesting, because Dardoch definitely seems talented enough. I mean, you can say, oh, NA players suck, they wouldn't, but whatever. I think a big part of the LCS sucking, I don't think is necessarily the player's skill level. Now, certain players, yes, it is their skill level. Like, I think North American mids are probably just not good enough. You know, we just don't have a lot of good mid laners, but we have a lot of talented other players. We have good AD carries, we have good junglers, we have good top laners. I think overall the North American infrastructure, coaching staffs, work ethic, everything like that absolutely sucks. And I think if we took a lot of North American players and took them over to Europe, I mean, think about like Doublelift if he spent his entire career in Europe. Think about even if Bjergsen went and spent his entire career in Europe. Yes, he's not a North American player, but, you know, he was molded by North America. I think there's other, you know, plenty of other guys. I think Blabber, if he got more time over in Europe, I think he'd be way better with that coaching staff, that atmosphere, just their hunger, their drive, and their winning attitude and plays. They know how to play the game a better way. So I do think Dardoch has enough just regular skill to be able to go over there and make things work. And so I just thought this was really, really interesting. You know, I was just kind of like, I think it's unlikely, but yeah, it's a kind of a cool thought experiment. But the big thing that happened, and the big news that came out today, yeah, I believe today, yes, June 30th, is that Dardoch has joined a European-based sports agency, ICM Stellar, and that means he is potentially weighing his options overseas. This company, you know, it's like a sports agency. They sponsor careers of hundreds of elite athletes from traditional sports and esports, and they've been behind some of the biggest deals in soccer history, football history, whatever you want to call it. So they have some big ties over in Europe. And what this company has kind of specialized in so far is not necessarily getting players into the LEC. I don't think they've gotten very many players, if any, into the LEC, but they have gotten a lot of people set up with European Regional League teams and have been able to get a lot of players into European Masters. So all of a sudden, that doesn't rule out the LEC, by the way. Also, you know, maybe they haven't had a client quite like Dardoch, because right now when I look in Europe, there's definitely some teams that could use some junglers. You know, we have Schalke, who's using Kira right now, who just had some jungler issues. He's not looking great. And Kira's about to be a free agent. Team BDS is coming in. Could Dardoch go to BDS? That would be pretty crazy. SK right now is running with Treats in the jungle. They obviously have a big need in the jungle. That could be interesting. But either way, it does seem that Dardoch is at least weighing his options for over in Europe. And I think that would be absolutely crazy. Because one, I think Dardoch's really good. I'm very curious to see if it's actually his attitude, if he's actually toxic, or if European orgs can make it work. And I just want to see how good he would do. Would he dominate the European Regional Leagues? Would he be able to get into the LEC and look solid? Would he look decent? Would he look really good? Would he look terrible? You know, there's so many interesting things that could come out of this. And again, at first it started out as people just being like, oh, Dardoch said he's open to go to any region. Oh, that'd be cool if he went to Europe. But now all of a sudden, he's signed with a European agency that focuses on getting people signed to European Regional League teams. It's not their main focus, but it's one of the things that they do. And man, could Dardoch be headed to Europe? Would it be a good idea? How's it going to work out? I don't know, but I'm really hoping this does happen. Just to see what happens. I'm just generally really curious and really excited. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you do enjoy it. I'd appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. Do you think Dardoch's going to end up in a European Regional League? Do you think he's going to end up in the LEC? Do you think that's even a good idea? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!